5 in the morning, I'm up chasing chicken with you. Like for me, subscribe for me. What's rocking? It's Big Checky, Uncle Flexy from the Chicken Chasers podcast, where we advise everybody to wake up every day and chase their chicken. Every episode is brought to you by the 4 P's that's protect, provide, people, positivity. Protect and provide for your family. When you approach people with positivity. Try saying that 5 times fast. We back with another one. Feel me? Quick little Checky Talk. You know, so I was finna blow just Chucky Chonioni post. But you know, I was just watching some sports networks and stuff. You know, everything on sports right now, they talking about this whole Brooklyn Nets ordeal with KD, Kyrie, and all them. And the thing is, I don't even know if KD and Kyrie really want to get traded. You know what I mean? What Kyrie probably do. I don't know if KD really do. I think he just threw that out there because he know it's gonna take a whole team to trade for him to get anything back for the Nets. So I feel like he just threw that out there, kind of to rain on the Warriors parade, so that this whole summer would be about where KD going instead of Steph and the Warriors winning another title. That could just be me. I don't know. It's giving lightweight hater energy, but I rock with KD. But you never know. But if you don't know about the Brooklyn Nets, I'm going to just give you a quick synopsis and tell you why I'm going to equate this to real life, because it goes on both ends. You got Kyrie Irving first. Got drafted to the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers struggled with him. They got LeBron. Him and LeBron won the championship 2016, the greatest comeback in NBA history. We know all about it, blah, blah, blah. Then the next year they lost to the Warriors, you know what we do. And then he left the Cavs and went to Boston. Boston had a good record before he came. They was going to the Eastern Conference Finals and all that before he came. He got there, they had the worst record in Boston, you know what I'm saying? So they added a superstar, got a worse record. He left Boston and went to Brooklyn, all right? Kevin Durant, he was in Oklahoma with all them years. Well, Russell Westbrook, you feel me? Same thing with him. He was up 3-1 on the Warriors. We got the greatest comeback in Western Conference Finals history that they don't talk about. You know how we do. So what he do the next year? He left Oklahoma and joined the Warriors. You feel me? Then he, you know what I'm saying, won 2 championships with us, got hurt his 3rd year, and then he left the Warriors and he went to Brooklyn because he wanted to play with Kyrie. So like, all right, you left a great team, all right, dog. And then you got James Harden. I'm just throwing him in here because he started off with OKC, left them over, I think, $4 to $6 million that OKC wasn't trying to pay. He went to Houston, became the man, MVPs. He was choking in the playoffs, never got a championship ring, but he had some great years where he was a top 5 player. And then when he didn't want to play in Houston no more, after they got all the players he wanted, the coaches he wanted, the style of play he wanted, got rid of the players he wanted, he got fat on them. He quit. He stopped playing. He like, get me out of here. And requested a trade out of Houston over to Brooklyn. So now you got Harden, Kyrie, and KD. 3 cats that have shown that they're not loyal to the soil that they own. And I'm not mad at them because the NBA been jerking players around for years. So get y'all money, do these franchises shady, and keep the Warriors winning. But they all got reputations for up and leaving teams whenever they just feel the need. And the Brooklyn Nets, back in the day, they did the same thing. They traded away all their draft picks and players that they was building for Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Joe Johnson, and all that. And then within 2 to 3 years, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Joe Johnson them all left the Nets. So they didn't have no picks, no players, no superstars, nothing. It was weak for about 5 to 8 years. Then they remix it, start building up some players, get good again, trust in the process, and then they go out and do this again. Go get Harden, Kyrie, KD. And then within 2 to 3 years, Harden already left. They done traded all kind of draft picks to get him. He left and went to Philly. Kyrie sat out most of the season over vaccinations or whatever. Any problem he had, he was sitting out. Now he want to leave. He trying to get to LA to play with Bron again. Then KD is requesting the trade. So that's all them players that you traded for and did all this, they finna leave again. Now your team finna be garbage again, potentially, for the next 5 to 8 years. And that's just how I want to tell people, you don't want to be the Brooklyn Nets in life. If you failed for somebody before, whether it's a friendship, relationship, whatever it was, and you've seen the red flags and you ignored them and that person broke your heart, and it happened 2 times, it happened 3 times, then it's like, all right, you need to start noticing red signs and really stopping at that sign, dog, because you'll be good for a couple of years, then you'll let somebody in, and you see all the red flags from the beginning, and you still go through with it. You're like, I'm going to be the one person to change it. And it's like, you're not. You're not. Like a man or a female can only make the opposite sex be like 80% monogamous if you believe in it. Like that last 20% you got to do on your own, and if people not ready to do it, they're not gonna do it. Even in friendships, like you can't make somebody be 100% loyal just because you treat them great and do all kind of things for them. It's gonna come down to a point where they got to make that decision on their own, and it's gonna come down to you to notice the red flags of if they are gonna be loyal or whatever you want to. The situation is, you got to notice the red flags so you can remove yourself from the situation immediately and don't end up like the Brooklyn Nets. Whereas you got teams like the Warriors, the Celtics, they drafted their players, went through their weak years, built it up, and now they was both in the finals last year. Warriors got another championship. These other teams that try to makeshift these teams, and I'm going to trade for him and trade for that, it usually don't end well because the pieces don't fit, and you think the grass is greener because you see things on a small scale. Like you might, like, you know what I'm saying, you might have played against this player in the sports sense 2-3 times a year and he lit you up for 40 every time. But you don't see the day ins and day out behind the scenes of, are they a jerk or an a-hole or a good teammate or, you know what I'm saying, a good person in your life, a good partner. You know what I'm saying, you might have went out and had your flings with this person, like, oh, you better than my man or you better than my girl. And then, you know what I'm saying, you mess up your relationship with your girl or your man, then you try to go over to that other person and they're not what you thought it was. That grass ain't always greener. You got to know what you're doing out here, because a lot of people be corny like I'm horny, dog, and that's all the time. And it's like, you got to know how to play the percentages. Are you going to have a great time with this person every now and then? Or you going to have consistently good to great times with somebody that you really built a relationship with, friendship, relationship-wise, family-wise, any otherwise? Because people, as they transcend through life, they tend to forget their old friends and move on to new friends that's closer to the status they on. But those relationships don't be genuine and true, because this person met you when you was on this status. They didn't meet you when you was building to this status. So like, you gotta be careful of that, just befriending anybody or turning your back on, you know what I'm saying, anybody. And you gotta watch out for these red flags, because you don't, like I said, you don't want to be the Brooklyn Nets. You don't want to see that they seeing all these players got a tendency for leaving their teams, traded all their stock to get these players, and now they surprised that all these players want to leave the team. Like, you didn't peep the red flags from the beginning, so always be cautious of the red flags. Go with your instinct. You can't always go with your heart. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you can, but a lot of times you gotta go with your instinct and your mind, because that's what's thinking clearer than your heart, because your heart might be swept up in compassion. So just always look out for you as well as others, but always look out for the red flags, because if you don't see them, you're gonna get blindsided, and that's how you get knocked out. And if you see them and still deal with it, then that's on you. Like, people be mad at like a Brittany Rayner or a Cat Stacks, or even future baby mamas be mad at Future. Like, you was 8 baby mama. Yeah, you didn't learn from the previous 7? We 1 through 3 I can see. But by the time you're the 8th or 10th rapper or the 10th or 11th baby mama, you should see the pattern already. You knew the red flags and you went through that stop sign full speed anyways and got into an accident. So you gotta be cautious, look around, you know what I'm saying, peep your surroundings if you want to try to live happy, because red flags mean danger. And if you think you're the one superhero that's going to change it, kudos to you. A lot of times it don't happen, and then you end up more heartbroken than you was. Like the Nets, who thought they was going to get a championship, now they about to be worse than where they started potentially. So look out for the red flags. Don't be the Brooklyn Nets, and always look out for others too, though. You don't want to be the selfish player or the Brooklyn Nets, you know what I'm saying? Because it usually don't end well on both sides. So you know how we do. Big Checky, Uncle Flexy from the Chicken Chasers podcast. We out.
Bitch, that's how I'm doing the podcast.